two, one, and we're live.
Well,
We
well, well. Welcome back to my melanated mofos. Drop that intro music. We got something for y'all today. Let's drop that intro music.
Warning, the following program contains strong black first opinions about mature and strong subject matter that affects Black America and the diaspora as a whole. Listen at your own risk, you sissies.
Grand Rising All. You are listening to the one and only Be One or None. Good morning from Africatown, Los Angeles.
You already know what it is, babies. You already know what it is. You know, I had to come back in, get my brim together, make sure the feathers tucked in right and tight, make sure my gators are shined up, and drop it on y'all lives. We got something to talk about today that it gots to be said. Uh, um if you've been on social media within the past week or so, you know certain figures are saying it. And I'll just name drop. That would be Nikki D. That would be the Lady of Rage. They're saying it got to be said, and they've said what they said. We are at a point to where Black America, the Black community, whether you like it or not, whether you want to accept it or not, you is a Negro, you is Black. You ain't getting out of that. There ain't no way around that. And that also comes with the American government's warfare against you. So whether you want to identify as what you are or not, you are the target of warfare. You are the target of military tactics. And what am I saying? Let's unpackage this and get into it. It's no secret that white supremacy has mastered the art of mind control, and that propaganda is one of the primary weapons that they use to control Black minds. That they know how we're going to shop, they know how we're going to vote, they know how we're going to respond to certain situations. They know everything about us. And they also know that we are a visual and an emotion-driven people. So let's just break this thing all the way down. It's no secret that if you listen to hip hop music, you know hip hop music since we sold control of it to small hats and to white entities, et cetera, et cetera. You know that hip hop is no longer the voice of Black people. What it is now, it has been bought and has now been made as one of the main components of their mind control machine. It is the WMD that they use when they want to control Black people. So now that leads us to what are we looking at here? Because this is now more than music. This has now become a WMD, a weapon of mass destruction against Black people. This past week, like I said, the Nikki D, who's the first female MC signed to Def Jam, had some remarks that went viral all across the internet because she responded to the modern rapper Ice Spice doing her basically stripper routine dressed as Betty Boo, Boop or Boo, whatever her name is. But she did a stripper routine basically, and she coined the phrase, "This is the prostitution era of female rap." And she's not often saying that. And then and the men's y'all's ain't getting off either, because on the male side of it, these Negroes is basically Klansmen and skinheads with dark skin and microphones. So we got strippers with microphones and skinheads with microphones. Actually, if I want to be really, really accurate, I'll just say Klansmen with microphones, because we don't identify with the right side of things. We only identify with the left, which is the Democrat side of things. So that would be the Klansmen. And if you know white supremacy, you know the skinhead is on the right, you know the Klansman is on the left. So now we got to break this thing down in terms of the damage and impact that it's having on us as a people. We've spoken on this show plenty of times before about hip hop and its origins and how we've always had that party element. And let's just be real about it. We can't sit here and say that Kool Herc, later on down the line, KRS-One, Grandmaster Flash, any of these people, we can't say that back then they would ever imagine a day where rappers would be in this predicament and position that they are now. I don't think we ever imagined that a female would be given a microphone and go do a live strip routine and program little black girls to come up and be to make it normal to be sexualized, to make it normal to be a prostitute, to make it normal to be unmarried. And now we see it's getting worse and worse because these females are now targeting children. So they're priming black girls and black boys too, but they're priming black girls and young black women to be the victims of sex trafficking and pedophilia. And that is an okay thing. There's nothing to blink at, nothing to sneeze at.
And can I say this, Pablo? I want to go back to what Kaya, remember, is that her name, Kaya? My neck, my back.
Yeah, I remember that song. And
okay, like Kaya just went off on Sexy Red. And everybody, all these young generations like, y'all can't talk, y'all were nasty, y'all had Lou, y'all had this. But the whole point is our records were censored. You did not hear it on the radio. You had to buy it as an adult. Those was adult things. The thing is, the powers that be, and we so blind to it, the teenagers are falling in the gap. There's no place for them to be teenagers, and we expect more out of them. The powers that be, and like I'm gonna say it, everybody is calling out the Jews for owning almost everything, from the CDC to the radio stations. They're paying us to sing destruction in our ways. Who lifted the veil? Who lifted the laws that allowed this music to be played in public? That's the problem. You got little girls and everything. When it was our music, that was for grown folks stuff. You know how like you don't be in the bedroom when your parents are doing the do? That's because the door is closed. That was closed. And the only way you heard it is if your parents allowed you to be exposed with it. Where's the FCC at? You used to couldn't say the B word and all this stuff that's allowed now. Even if they blink it out, it's an insult to us. Society.
That's a good point. That's a good point right there, because that's one of the first arguments that you'll hear is it's always been this in hip hop. But let's look at that part. Let's land the plane on that part for a second to drive that point home. At the time that Luke and the 2 Live Crew was out, even Too Short, all these people that they reference when they try to use this argument, here's the reality. At their time, the only thing that was being mass marketed the way hip hop is mass marketed today was white rock and roll music. You were not going to see, you wouldn't have never seen Luke, Too Short, or any of the raunchiest rappers mass marketed on a rock star level the way you do today. That was not ever going to happen.
Pause that 1 second. And rock stars were the nasty ones. They were the ones. We were the ones looking like ill. They were the ones that were just basically not let your children listen to. Go ahead.
Yeah, so that argument is what you call intellectual dishonesty. That's a person that's trying to throw something out that they think sounds palatable so they can make it stick. That's what that is called, intellectual dishonesty. The reality is, if you know what you're talking about, you know darn well Luke, 2 Live Crew, and Too Short were not mass marketed like U2. They were not mass marketed like Guns N' Roses. That's how it was back then, because rock and roll was in the place that hip hop is right now, and because small hats and white people were using rock and roll as their main mechanism, like they're doing hip hop today. And on top of it, you add in the technology. So now they're able to. What we're seeing now is rock and roll marketing on steroids. It's like a behemoth, a juggernaut, because of technology with the internet and these social media apps. So it's not even in the same ballpark. And also back then, you also have the factor of they were trying to ban hip hop back then. So you, like, again, you were not going to see 2 Live Crew mass marketed, especially what we see now, specifically targeting children. You cannot stand in honesty and say you ever saw Too Short or the Two Live Crew marketed to little kids the way they're doing right now.
It was banned. And let me say this. Go back to the rock and roll. Let's talk about Kiss. Let's talk about how Megan Stallion sticks out the tongue. All that. Who was the tongue stickers? Kiss. He had the long tongue. That's what we seen it. Who was showing their asses on stage? It was the rock and roll. The white people showing their butt cheeks with their thing. This was not our culture. They integrated this disrespectful stuff in our culture because rap was meant to tell our stories and entertain. And then when you had raunchy rap, you could not buy it. It was labeled. You had to go to the store. You were not allowed to touch it unless you were an adult.
Yeah, and it's been, and the same argument has been said about NWA, especially when Special Ed made his remarks last month, and it's the same thing. NWA,
I remember NWA, but I had to sneak to get the tape. It wasn't
exactly.
It wasn't advertised. It wasn't on the radio.
It wasn't.
I was gonna say our parents didn't let us listen to that stuff, though. You know, that was a whole different era where our parents were not allowing us to listen to that nonsense, and now it seems like it's okay.
No,
or it's acceptable.
That's not it. That's not even just it. You could not go in the store. It wasn't even a parent. Let's go back to rules and regulations. Your parents didn't allow you to listen to it. It wasn't even the parents. You could not listen to it unless you had an ID showing that you was an adult to even buy it.
And even in the underground market, like you had to go through some hoops to get some NWA music. It wasn't like you could just walk into and you wasn't going to hear it straight out of Compton being played on the radio, even though they had a clean version. Because, like I said, back then they were trying to ban hip hop. I mean, and anybody doing hip hop at that time was lumped into it. Public Enemy, which we could say was a positive. Well, they were a positive group. They were a conscious black group. They were literally in the same bin as a Too Short, as an NWA, because they were trying to ban hip hop altogether. So back then, when we did some of the shows back then, you would even see some of these groups do shows together because, again, it was the government versus hip hop. So today it's a totally different ball game now that small hats and white folk have decided to make hip hop their main marketing mechanism. Everything is different now because now the rapper you see today is basically functioning like a rock star from the 80s and the 70s, is what you're seeing now.
Angie, you want? I didn't know if Angie wanted to finish her point before I say, but yes, the rappers that you see are the rock stars, and that's what I'm saying. Everything that we thought was nasty, now we're doing it, and we're doing it for money. Because it makes no sense. Every rapper now, back to the title, female rappers, I seen that in the comment. Female rappers are just strippers with microphones. Because your talent, if you have talent, you don't have to show your behind. When I remember Queen Latifah, MC Light, all the rap we listened to put us in a mode, put us in a mood, in a mood to either be happy, to be empowered. And now every rapper now puts us in a mood to either kill each other or to have unprotected sex and to disrespect ourselves and disrespect our parents, disrespect everything about our community, and they're getting paid to do it.
I'd like to, because I heard Angie bring up the parent aspect. We do have a thing to where in some cases, parents are right there along with the kids, especially younger black parents. We've seen countless videos of them on there twerking and all this stuff with the little 3-year-old in the video. So they're passing it down to the kids at this point, which is also something that we didn't really do in previous generations. That was not something black people did. We kept grown folks' business, grown folk business, and that's why
they did. Not because you know what they did. See, we have a culture of music and dance. We keep forgetting who we are. How do our children know how to dance in the cultures? Because you pass it down. What we have is this generation that was raised off of this rap culture, thinking it's okay because everybody's doing it. But the problem is that when we used to dance with our parents, we danced. My family loved to dance, but we was passing this dancing and this fun down to our kids, and then the kids that was raised after that are passing this raunchiness dancing down. They don't see it as a destructive. They see it, I'm just dancing with my kids and my family. Because I remember when I graduated from college, who I was sitting up here dancing with and enjoying time with my family and my kids. We would teach. So when you look at African, when you look at traditional dances, when you look at the real so-called Indian or Native people dancing, we pass down cultures. What they did to us here is they mixed up our minds, and we're passing down destructive cultures to our kids. Not no, well, they are that generation, this generation, because this generation is being raised by kids who was raised by kids like slavery, because the parents who listen to the music that we listen to, the men who listen to the music, the men who had took stands for us are put in jail. So you have a generation of people who were raised by a generation of broken people. I lay my plane.
And not only that, you also have the dilemma / crisis again of technology, because now you have kids with devices in their hands basically 24 hours a day, and it's like, no matter how diligent of a parent you are, you could just be in there cooking dinner, and the kids are in there with them devices and looking at who knows what online, who knows what they're coming across on these social media apps, because the only thing that seems to be banned consistently across social media apps is two things: anti small hat sentiment, but the top thing that is consistently banned across all platforms is a pro-black message. You are not even allowed to even think about being pro-black online, period.
And it's sad what you saying. You're not even allowed to think, to be an adult, to think pro-black, just to think like a human being, that this is destructive. But you can say, suck my click and lick me here and shoot him there and pop a pill and do drugs and just a lot more. But we got to go to a quick break. And so we'll pick up this conversation in a minute. And I see Kathy's comment that says, what even happened to the R&B singers? Like,
I got something for that.
They mix our rap with R&B, but like, hold that thought and we'll be right back.
Have you envisioned true Black individuals and groups coming together? We are in need of safe spaces that serve as sanctuaries for the Black community in this current world. We as a people are falling apart, and this a call to action. Imagine a place where healing, unity, culture, and wealth building are the core values. A haven that fosters a sense of peace and belonging for generations to come. We need a micronation, a self-declared independent entity that exists digital within or on the outskirts of an existing nation. A micronation is a small, self-governed place where a community can create its own rules and regulations independent of larger governing bodies. This is the vision of the UEOA. This concept is not new, but it's one that holds significant potential for the Black community. Imagine a place that serves as a retreat for the Black community. A sanctuary that provides respite from the pressures of the oppression we face in our everyday life. A place where we can reconnect with our roots, learn, and find solace in a supportive environment. A place where we can host conferences, workshops, and events that promote education, programs that promote healing, unity, and wealth building. A thriving hub for Black families, entrepreneurs, and individuals offering opportunities for networking and collaboration among each other. Imagine a serene, natural environment where families and individuals can enjoy camping, farming, and other activities, fostering a connection with nature and promoting overall well-being. A dedicated space for educational programs, mentorship initiatives, and workshops that empower Black people to reach their full potential and contribute to their communities. A sustainable farming initiative that promotes self-sufficiency, healthy eating, and environmental consciousness, while also providing educational opportunities for community members. A range of activities and amenities, ensuring a memorable experience for all. This vision is attainable and, with your help, can become a reality. By contributing to this initiative, you will play a vital role in creating a safe and empowering micro-community that addresses the unique needs of the Black community. We bought land, now we need your support to help secure the necessary resources to develop infrastructure. So what can you do to help make this vision a reality? Donate, no matter how big or small. Every contribution will make a significant impact. Even donating your time, skills, or expertise can assist us in. Please join our website www.theunitedempiresofalkebulan.com. Share this initiative, spread the word through social media, email, and word of mouth. Together we can build this dream that fosters pride, resilience, and prosperity. Join us in creating a space where Black individuals and families can thrive, celebrate our heritage, and build a brighter future. It's up to us to help us. We are the only group of people suffering like we do systemically. If you claim you love Black people, then you approve this message.
And we're back. We're back.
And
We're back.
we got to touch on the R&B thing because
You kind of sound you sound far back. You sound far back. Sound like you're talking.
am I on the Matrix?
No, there you go. You back.
Not now.
They try to cut my mic off, babies, but that's what we're talking about, babies. That Kathy asked a question about R&Bs. And I remember back in the days is R&B is what I used to use as babies. You know, it was a big thing for me. So I want to touch on that R&B topic before we move forward. Small hats, and I think this is more of a small hat movement than it was the actual white movement itself. They were both involved on it, but I think there's more of a small, you could say more of a small hat situation that says they literally own the majority of the music industry. So if you look at R&B from where it was and where it died at, R&B was like our love language to each other. You know, I mean, we all remember the times when even when our parents had arguments, they would throw on some Marvin, baby, throw some Marvin on, and then everything was calm. It was peaceful because R&B was like our love language, and the small hats knew that had to go. So what did they do to get rid of the love? Because you have to remove love and romance from the Black relationship in order to get to the point of being strippers with microphones and where we are now. So what they did was somewhere in the 90s, the process started around maybe, I want to say maybe 93, 94ish. What they began to do was fuse R&B with gangster rap. So remember, you had all these groups, including Genuine. Genuine was calling himself a thug. You had all the R&B singers were beginning to dress like gangsters, like Jagged Edge. They were dressing like gangsters. So once they fused the two, then the line, it became so muddy, and then all these same R&B singers were now singing the hooks for all the gangster rap songs. So at a certain point, R&B died on that hill because it wasn't no point of even having R&B anymore because nobody was trying to hear love music at that point. They basically phased it out and killed it. It died on the thug R&B hill. That's what happened to R&B. Now we're seeing a renaissance now. If you listen to our radio show and see our play and hear our playlists, and especially on Instagram, you see a whole new crop of R&B artists and conscious pro-Black rappers and singers come into the forefront because we've had enough. And that's what happened to R&B. It died on the hill of gangster R&B. And you could thank your Genuines and your Jagged Edges and people of that era.
And you know, when you talk about love and everything, it's like they've, and it's not.
Queen Angie, you kind of
And
went out. You went out. Start over.
I'm sorry, is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, you good.
Okay, so when we talk about, you know, the love songs with R&B in the past, they've tried to mesh the definition of love with sex, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
and it's not that, you know, and then they'll take it so far as from saying love, sex to effing, you know, which is totally different, you know, so with the intent. So the way they've kind of tried to switch the narrative, to them, they are talking about love. You in the bed banging and being, you know, whatever goes on in your bedroom is what goes on. But when you start speaking about those things in song and the expression is just um, disrespectful, that's where we get off key. So you all pay attention. You know, it sounds like love, but that's not love. What they're talking about, none of it. So I'll let my
Yeah,
point there.
You right,
that's
Queen.
a good point. That was a sleight of hand trick to confuse the lines and blur it and to teach you that sexual activity is what love is.
Yep. And like
Sexualizing you.
exactly like Kathy said, I miss the long love songs, and like you're saying, Queen, yes, because I hear so many girls like the Suki. I want to get my scratch. They making us to they. It's kind of like they're, and I'm not trying to be funny. The rice colored complected unstitched tennis ball people, they will sleep with an animal. To them, nothing is love, but they have put us on there to where um these, so like Suki Hana, I need my stuff scratched. So now it's just, you think that it's a feeling. Now women, you just want a orgasm, and that's not what we used to want. We wanted the whole package. You know, they got us all over the place. It's genocide. Okay, you just have sex, and now you're producing unfathered children.
You know what it sounds like? Now, if you sit down and you read a description, and audience, I want y'all to actually do this. If you do your research and you read the description of the breeding farms, the sex farms, and the homosex farms from American chattel slavery, you can literally picture that stuff to this music, because you would literally be able to take today's black music and take it to those plantations and use it as a programming mechanism on those plantations. Now, what was the breeding farm? The breeding farm is where they force a male and a female to go in there. They didn't care if it's your mama, your brothers, and your sisters, your cousin, they didn't care who it was. You were going to go in there under the threat of violence and perform sex acts with whoever they put you in there with, and you better do something to produce a child, or you had hell to pay. Then you have the sex farms. This is where Massa had his choice slaves as what was called a comfort girl, and he would go in there and do whatever he wanted with them. It was basically his personal brothel. Then you have the homosexual version, which was the rainbow farms, where they would go in there and rape young boys and commit pedophilia. All the stuff you see them trying to put into law today is what they were doing on those plantations, and those are Greco-Roman practices. And you know, that's why I've said before, if you a black person running around talking about you are the color of you with the color folk, the rainbow folk, you really should be ashamed of yourself, because you are really putting a middle finger to your own people and culture, and are suffering because that agenda was built off of our suffering.
And
I
back
mean,
to, yeah.
you have certain practices to where I mean, I'm gonna get graphic for a second, babies. I'm gonna tell y'all a little something. You have certain practices to where the most rebellious male slave had this done to him. They had a practice to where they would bury you up to the neck in the dirt. They would put a device on your mouth to force your mouth to stay open, and they would have another male slave come and defecate down your throat, and then they would then close your mouth. And if you coughed it up or spat it out, then you had to start the process over again, because you had to hold it in your mouth for a few hours.
I
As
would
your
have been a dead slave that day. Me and Master would have been.
With a mouthful of what? With a mouthful of what? Genitals gone.
I would have had a
Genitals
mouthful of
gone.
whiteness in my mouth, because I would have bit, cracked, killed
Yeah,
everything. Go
gone.
ahead, my bad. Because I don't know what's wrong with our people. Or you standing around and one white man with a gun telling you to do all this ridiculousness. We ain't even over in Africa now. Ain't nobody jumping nobody no more. I was taught to fight. Okay.
Right.
That's a part,
Right.
and that's exactly why I'm saying what I'm saying. Because how do you have hundreds of black people afraid of one white man with a gun? Mind control, and that's why they had to take control of hip hop. It was too dangerous when it was in its infancy, and it was literally the voice of the people. It was dangerous, so they had to take control of it. So now you got, look at how many, like I had this conversation with a rapper earlier this morning, and he caught some flack for something he said about how we sell ourselves out to be a part of this music industry. And I said he's right. And he was like, oh, you only got 600 followers, blah, blah, blah. He was getting berated in the conversation. And I put a comment on there. I said, you know what? He's actually more sound and secure in his music career with his 600 devoted followers, because they're there for something that's real, something that's tangible, a message that speaks for the people. You Negroes is selling your souls and your holes to be part of an industry where you have a 1 in a million chance to get in there. If they see that you are willing to go far enough to prostitute yourself to destroy your own people, then you got a shot at being in today's music industry.
But you know what? That's what I'm saying. how do we not recognize that? It's like when they have gotten us so bad and programmed that if you go against black people feeling good, even though their feel good is at the expense of their own civilization and children, they will jump on you like you're nothing. You can tell the black people the truth, and now they have programmed us to attack each other if we come out with the truth, if we stop making them feel good. Because they got so much suffering, the little bit of feel good that they got is so toxic that they don't even understand it.
And well, here's the thing though, and TLC said it best. You got all these, awards and whatnot, but they were broke, right? They were bankrupt. So they're making all this ratchet music, and it looks like they might have the celebrity status, but their wealth is not what we think it is. You know what I'm saying? Look at Prince's um interviews. Look at Michael Jackson's interviews talking about those things, how they were broke because these record labels take all their money and you get pennies on the dollar for your music. So my question is, if that's what's going on in the rap game, in the hip hop game, then why don't you feel like you can be like these little, and I'm not trying to make it a race thing. I'm not trying to be funny, but these little white kids be on YouTube getting rich and getting famous off of singing in their bathrooms. So why can't black people that have musical talent do the same thing? Get your own record label, do your own thing. And it might not look like the same amount of money, but you're not making that money anyways, truth be told, and you are owned by somebody else. So I don't understand the math. The math is not mathing.
Almost
Sorry.
How they do that is because we view white proximity and white access as black gold. That's how they programmed us to view being next to somebody white and being seen as their circles as heaven. That's how. And it's like these Negroes is out here prostituting with microphones and mass murdering their own people with microphones for a fourth of a penny on Spotify. You only for a stream on Spotify, you only get
no,
fourth
that's
of a
not
penny.
it. That's not it. It's just it. They go when they go to their neighborhoods, they popular. They feel like something. See, they won't shoot the police back for killing little boys in their neighborhood. They won't fight the government back for robbing and stealing and giving our money to the immigrants and everybody else. But they can feel like a king in front of the other people because the people that they can pick on is the people that look like them. You could pick on black people, kill black people, do whatever you want to black people with no repercussions. So they
And
feel like a king in their area.
All because it's marketed as the new Roman Coliseum to see a Negro kill a Negro or a black woman prostitute herself out to the nearest bidder.
And to the point where I'm so sick of who's making the videos, allowing black men and black boys to pull guns on each other and shoot, but yet you cannot see that same mess when you pull a gun on a police officer. And then they tell you a police officer, we talking about white people in blue uniforms, because black people sitting up here, you don't mingle with the police and you see what's going on, but then they'll make it look like if you say kill the pig, you talking about another black person. They got us so mixed up, and they did it all through this rap music program and making it okay.
Now look at the song. Look at the popular song from MC8 from Compton's Most Wanted, Straight Up Menace. He was allowed to say kill a B, kill an N, a H and an O, but when he said something about go shoot the Jap at the corner store, the word Jap was blanked out. Now how is he as a black man going? And how is he as a black man supposed to be really about this out from the street? How do you stand for that as a black man?
Can you get in your rap and say, let me go down there and wipe out the Asians at the beauty store that's in our neighborhood? No, because they got a protective order. But you could say kill a nigga, kill a black person, lay the whole family down, put a bullet in their head, pop pills, do drugs, and nobody don't catch on. And how do you rap and sing this stuff and cheer each other on to do it, and then run around talking about pray for my Pookie or free JJ and all this? What is going on here?
You definitely would not be allowed to say spin the block on the nail salon. I'm sorry, it's the truth.
No, I mean what they're doing now is they're getting real live thugs to sing this music. These are not artists anymore. These are real gangsters from the street. These are real killers, okay? They don't mind going to jail. They are real killers anymore.
The new black KKK. The KKK don't have to wear hoods no more. The KKK don't have to come in our neighborhoods and burn crosses and stuff no more. They put their mentality inside our black men, and then our black men are not protecting our children. Even when they throw them in prison, everybody think that prison is this place where everybody's divided. No, the children in there with the grown men in there, murderers, robbers, don't matter what crime, you all in the same population, at least in Alabama. So they idolize, they make these kids, and I feel sorry for the kids because even up to age 20, 26, if you weren't a child, then why did Obama make the law where you could still keep your child on your insurance up to age 26? Because
Come on, Queen.
Your mind is not even developed till you hit 30. You used to be when they used to give a description of a serial killer, a white one. What was he? 30 years old in the parents' basement. So
right.
We expecting 18-year-old, 19-year-olds to grasp to be a 40-year-old adult mind, and they not even getting there. Every TV you turn on, every station, every wherever you go is kill each other. Do drugs.
Hold on, Queen, though. Hold on. Let's take it a step further. And everyone that's listening right now, I want you all to pay attention and think about this when you continue to allow your children to be exposed to different things. What happens if the 16-year-olds listen to that music and their program, whatever's going on, and they're out in the street killing? When they go to court, they're going to be tried like an adult.
Yep.
Okay? They're going to jail for the rest of their whole life is over.
And the little white
14,
kids,
16.
And not trying to be funny, they plaster our little black kids all over. Let me tell you something. I'm living in Dothan, and I know people that work at these places. These little white kids killing left and right, and you won't hear about them in the news. Go ahead.
No, that's all I was gonna say. You're right. You won't. And if you watch the news, this is what I peeped out. If there is a crime that a black person commits, a black male especially, they will show their face, and they have the most horrible pictures. Okay, as they should, being mad, being locked up. And they'll say, 34-year-old black male, da 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 da, whatever information they have. If you can tell, if you see a story on the news and they say something like a mass shooter was detained, was killed at Walmart, information to follow. I promise you right now, that individual, that suspect is not a black person. When you hear an individual suspect and they don't say black person, it's not a black person. I guarantee you that.
Let me show
they
you.
They will never say a white male, a white, they won't say it. They will not say an Asian. They will not say a Hispanic. But if it's a black person, black male, 34 years old,
if it's a black teen, they showing their face and stuff. And just like on here, all of us is social media now. We know hashtags. Hashtags are key words. So they know what they're doing.
Isn't that against the law, though? Is that against the law? I'm asking, is that against the law? Because you can't put children
against the law when the same people we talking about write the law. No, it's not.
I'm just saying, but according to what's written, you can't put minors images on the news. You can't do that
as an adult. And when they trying to make it look like they're doing an adult crime, that's what I thought. But they feel free to do it, but they don't do it with white people half the time. Like when they give a description of mass shooter or man this or a police, it's mostly white because they're never going to say white, but they always going to say black male, this and that. And I know that we've been talking, so hold that thought, Queen. I'm getting ready to play this little commercial.
Step into a world of Black unity, love, and power where the essence of Black unity is not just a fleeting emotion but a profound force. A world where Black people uplift each other, creating a fortified community, a beacon of hope. Imagine the strength born from understanding one another. We as Black people all have something in common through shared experiences no one but us understands. There is a joy that arises from celebrating our heritage, our culture, our shared history. Picture the power of true Black unity, a power that transcends any adversities that we face. Black unity empowers and inspires. We have been robbed of that. We need to turn struggles into the foundation of future triumphs. This is not a utopian dream. This is the reality we can shape when we choose to put us first. Unity over division. It's up to us to save each other. Remember, when Black people love and support each other, it's not just powerful, it's transformative. It's our lifeline, our legacy, and our path forward. Let's give this to ourselves. So let's embrace this power. Let's cherish it and let it guide us. #B4B. Go to our website, www.theunitedempiresofalkebulan.com, the UEOA. Tina Berry speaks.
And we're back. I just had a short commercial because we had ran over before we went to our commercial break. So, Queen, go ahead and pick up from what you were saying about the words and how you know that it would how they use keywords that we all can tell when it's a white person that they're talking about versus a black person.
Yeah, well, and the point I was making to that is to say it is programming, because what they're doing, that's why, you hear a lot of people say, I mean, we've said it, you have black on black crime, but you also have Hispanic on Hispanic, white on white. And I think maybe Queen Ahmadiyya said, or maybe Misha, I don't care, I don't remember who said it, but they were saying, in reality, you tend to harm people that are in your circle, that are in your area. So if you live around a bunch of black people, who else do you think you gonna shoot? Harm, and that's just how it is. But with the way the news paints it, it makes it when they do that, and it's a black male this, but not categorizing any of the ethnicity, which and it shouldn't matter. If you're a criminal, you're a darn criminal. But when they do that, it paints the picture like black people are just the corporates of criminalization, and we're
Exactly.
not. That's
And
the issue with it.
exactly. And when you go back to black on black crime, they say it doesn't exist. The problem is that what you go back to in your geographic or your area, if it's a bunch of white people, everybody is going to commit crime with those that they're around most. If you're around, if no, white people commit crimes, it's white on white crime. The problem is that in their areas they have healing, they have things put in place where it does not encourage them to kill each other the most. In ours, the thing that they call black on black crime, we are killing each other at a higher rate than normal. And this just changed within the last 50 years, because in the last 70 years, black people weren't shooting and killing each other at all like this. So what has happened in the past 50 to 60 years? This wasn't us. We used to gather around at family gatherings. We used to have block parties. Now we can't even be in
Hmm.
one place without a gun, without a bullet flying. I'm literally
And
scared
that's
to
how
go
you feel. Stop hanging
anywhere
around
without.
people that go.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. Go ahead, Queen. I'm sorry. I was gonna say that's how you feel. Then stop hanging around people that prompt you to be violent and stuff. Watch the company you keep.
But the thing
If
is,
I'm
you can't
go
not
ahead.
watch the company you keep when you got everybody that's poor, just like the men, and we're gonna touch on that. The man in Brooklyn who shot and killed the black man who shot and killed his black neighbors, his son and stuff. We are put in places now because it's based on making all these corporations, whether they're white, Indian, Jews, Asians, everybody is making money off of the United States. And now we're not living in our tribes. We're not living around people we want to live in. We're living with strangers who we don't know. And this is not what we were before. Like I told people before,
Hmm.
believe that all black people were kumbaya. We're not talking about that. All black people weren't kumbaya. All black people had their own tribes and stuff, and we did not step out our tribes to go bother nobody else. Everybody black, all these before America made us all this so-called diversity community, we had different black tribes, and that's what we got to go to. To think that we
Hmm.
all gonna get along is foolishness. But the only thing that all black people got in common is that we need to fight to have our freedom. Because now we're sitting in buildings and houses and neighborhoods with people that we would not have been with years ago. Before
Hmm.
your tribe was with your tribe. Tribes visit each other. Each tribe knew what to do. I mean, knew where to go and respected each other. Now we're not tribes no more. We're a bunch of people being put in places to when you pay rent, you're making some white corporation, some Jewish corporation, some Asian corporation rich. So they don't care. And then we can't even sit up here and talk to our neighbors like, I don't want to hear that music because now they got everybody, oh, I got the right to listen to whatever I want to in America. So you, even though you don't want your child listen to it, your child step out the door, somebody blasting the music, it's somebody doing this. We are not in our safe spaces, but you know who is? The Asians, the Jews, the whites,
Hmm.
the Mexicans, and everybody in those communities are listening to Rap music that's telling us to kill each other and do this and do that. It's entertainment for everybody else. It's reality for the people that are stuck in the projects, the hood, and these low income neighborhoods that are who are strung out on pills and drugs out of their mind, who don't have fathers and mothers because they're being sent to prison. Most people are getting, and everybody that go to prison don't deserve to go to prison, because there are
Right.
people going to prison for trying to sell drugs to another grown person, as they say, because they trying to put money on the table, to put food on the table. Because when you go back to the racism of America, the systemic racism, we have been left out of generational wealth. So it's a slap in our face when we see white people wearing braids, looking like they black, acting like you in this thug nature, because we're characters to them. It's for
Mm-hmm.
entertainment, but yet you're not sitting at home with that black mama who trying to go to work and their kids sitting in the house and they trying to stay away from trying to make it out the hood, which half of them probably would never, and have to dodge stray bullets because everybody in the hood ain't bad. It might be a handful of them that's making the hood bad and everybody else is victims. But then you add this music, this culture, there's no relief. And when they turn on the TV, it's normal for them to live that way because that's what they see on TV. It's normal for black people to shoot each other because that's what's being played on TV. That's what's played in the music.
And
We
then you look at, these artists, these rap artists that are going, I don't want to call them artists, these rappers that are
they not
going to jail and
artists.
then they're sitting behind bars.
They the
And
enemy
what is behind bars? They're making music behind bars. Talking about the same stuff. Like, how does that happen? How are you able to put out albums and singles behind bars, talking about the same trash that got you in there, sitting next to somebody young that you got in there,
because nobody
but they're
won't
making
say
their own,
enough is enough. Nobody
you
won't
know,
say, nobody won't get a tribe and get land like we are doing. We are, but they won't see that you don't need them red bottoms. You don't need the Gucci. Black people are literally walking around the hood, dying slowly, wearing their money. There go your freedom money because you got on the Gucci belt. There go your money. You got all that gold in your mouth. Look at them sneakers.
and got
We walking around pretending that life is okay. Right
don't own nothing.
now,
They don't own nothing. And don't
that's
own
what I'm
nothing.
saying. But as long as we keep thinking that when we dress up to look like it's okay, that's how America has been. America tells everybody, well, black people, y'all have the right, y'all can be anything you want to be. That's a dressed up. Because undercover, you are writing laws. You wrote laws for our grandparents, and you're writing laws to make it okay for y'all to rob us of everything that's about us, and what you give us back is the opportunity to play football and get concussions, or the opportunity to do this rap music and this other stuff so that we can destroy our communities more. And nobody in the community don't see nothing wrong with it. As long as we keep buying the music and dancing to it, it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. And it's not. And even if you don't buy it though, you playing it on the radio. Don't think that they don't have the algorithm to know who's
I
playing
turn the
their
radio.
stuff.
I ain't
Have you ever paid attention to when TV shows air and they'll give you a statistic about how many people tuned in? Did you ever think about how they know that? Have you ever thought about that? So
Yeah.
when you're looking at these things and you think people are not, paying attention to that, the algorithm's paying attention to what we're doing. So every time we don't turn that trash off, it's making it like it's acceptable. And sometimes having a voice doesn't mean verbalizing things. It just means taking a stance and saying no. It doesn't.
I worked in TV. They know. They've been watching us for years. We used to know because the data would show all the data at a certain time when the TV show would have its peaks. When the music have its peaks, they know. Go ahead, Queen. That's all.
Hmm. No, that's all. That's all. It's just crazy. Have you all seen there's a Taco Bell commercial and it's a rap song. It's like dun 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 dun, something like that. It's real short, but it plays all the time. It plays so much. I promise. I'm so embarrassed to tell y'all this, but I took my tail and got some Taco Bell. I was so disappointed when I got it too. I was so mad. It was so gross. But that song, that little beat, I'm like, let me go get some Taco Bell. But it's a rap song. And if you listen to the words, it's like they don't go nothing about talking about no food, but it's catchy. And it's just little catchy things like that has us doing the most ridiculous things.
Just
Buying
like the
Nike, buying
McDonald's song,
Gucci.
nobody knew was made by a black man. Like they use us for everything and then sit back and run around and pretend to be like us, except for we're the only ones struggling. They get to pretend to be rappers and gangsters and wear dreads and mat up their hair and do this, and they get to go back to their safe little communities after they finish pretending. But we go back to
Mm-hmm.
the real life. We go back to the real community, and what gets on my nerves is that black people will not stop it. When they make their own music, a lot of these got independent labels. They don't like a lot of black people. You can have independent labels, so we can stop selling ourselves out. You can stop accepting
Mm-hmm.
roles, just like all this Hollywood. They want to protest all these actors and saying that they ain't not making money. You don't have to take them roles. You don't have to take
Exactly.
the gangster. Let the white people play the gangster. They like to pretend to be us so much. Why are you taking a role as the gangster that's killing somebody? I get sick of seeing our people. We done played enough of them roles. When we turn our backs on it, we see just like the perms. You don't hardly see them advertise the perms to us no more because we turned our backs on it. That's something black
Mm-hmm.
people did. What are black men going to turn their backs on? And then they make you black men show you that you don't have no self-control. They make you think it's okay to just go and F everybody and have sex because you're a man. You're the head, you're a man. And y'all running around here with diseases and children, but the black woman gets the stereotype that she is not controlling herself.
Yeah.
The black woman, if the woman is sitting there, if I done been with you like my daughter, she was with a man since she was 19 for 14, for about 14 years. She had almost 5 or 6 kids by him. He didn't do right year after year. But yet, when she's with another man, she's called that girl with all them kids. Well, she gave herself to this so-called head of the fucking household. But black men are not being held responsible for being irresponsible. Y'all are the heads. Do something about all this shit.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Stop giving yourself out. We got enough derogatory rap. We don't need it, but y'all keep doing it because you think that's the only way to get this dirty money that ain't even worth nothing no more. Y'all trying
Mm-hmm.
to get money. These people on something else right now because money, the American dollar is dropping. They on BRICS currency. BRICS ain't paying you to say this. These people on resources. These people on digital currency. There's other ways to get money, but you ain't even been learned to finish school to understand how to use the system, how to use the computers to make your money selling and shopping. It used to be a point where we used to just wear what we wanted to wear because it looked nice. Now I looked at something and they were laughing at this dude's shoes. They were clean. They was on. I can't tell the difference between sneakers. I'm sorry. Because when you laying there as a dead body on the street, them sneakers ain't meant nothing. I see the body. Them sneakers ain't protected
Mm-hmm.
from white supremacy, but yet y'all laughing at each other for not having white supremacy trinkets, white supremacy toys wrapped around your damn neck. Like you know what I'm saying? Like y'all doing all this to get money so that you can live, so that you can go give it right back to the same white supremacist by buying his
Live a lie. Living a lie.
You don't think about if black people say no, I ain't rapping that mess no more. Let the white people rap, talking about shooting and killing themselves. Do you hear? And do you even hear the word? Let's shoot a motherfucking cracker. But you hear shoot a nigga all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Let them go
And you
make
know
that
what?
and destroy themselves. Let them tell each other to pop meth. You don't hear white people talking about, oh yeah, let me pop some meth and do this. But you hear black people sipping on their syrup, stupid shit.
Yeah. And I want to piggyback off something you said, and it might sound like it's off subject, and I would like to have this conversation at another time, but it's not. I promise it's not a subject. But when you were talking about the men and whoever, anybody sleeping around, pay attention. You all listen to this music and it promotes it. Those commercials, those HIV PrEP commercials, there are so many PrEP medications out there now. There's like what, 3, 4, 5 that are on commercials right now. But here's the thing. You are listening to this trash music telling you it's okay to be running around being as gross as you can be. And there's medication for you being ratchet. Okay. Well, let me tell you something. I looked that stuff up. Okay. And if you don't have health insurance, you're going to be paying anywhere from, I think it was like 300 to $2,000 to $3,000 a month for medication if you do not have insurance. And it's still going to cost you if you do. So think about that. And when it says it's undetectable, it does not mean that you cannot transmit those things to other people. So my point is, people are all this propaganda, which is encouraging us to destroy ourselves. And those commercials have what? A whole bunch of black people, gay black men, might have a couple white people, but it's propaganda towards us destroying ourselves. And that music goes right
Exactly.
along with those commercials. So
Exactly.
pay attention to those things. We are destroying ourselves, and it's gonna cost us. It's costing us.
Let me say this too, Queen. Going back to when Kathy B said, "Where's the R&B music?" Come on, you had fun when you with your girls. Yeah, we rats, blah blah blah. But when you got with your man back in the days, you play that slow music, you play that R&B music because it puts you in the love. Everything is an energy. When you playing that R&B music, it teach you how to touch and love on each other. You don't want to feel that feeling with nobody else. Right now, they got rid of that, and they want you to just hit it real quick, go, and then now that's love. F each other. You have no connection with each other. They making sure even when we are at our intimate moments, we are separating ourselves from each other.
Absolutely.
You
And
don't
and
even
to
you don't
piggyback off
even
of
see,
that with
yeah,
Kathy, Queen
they talking about
Kathy,
men opening doors. You don't even see black men making music to show they love for women. You don't see women even suggesting that they want love music, listen to love music no more. Now you got women running around wrapped up trying to talk about they shooting each other just like the men. Now you know what I'm saying, and then the men, y'all are the head. So why is the women doing it? Are we following our head of the households? You got
no,
women
it's a bunch of brokenness.
doing
It's
stuff too.
brokenness. It's brokenness.
Let's
They are
admit
that what
broken people, and broken people don't need to teach each other nothing. Broken people need to sit back and evaluate our pieces on the ground.
mm-hmm, definitely. You ever wonder what happened to the pussycat dolls? You know what happened to them? Do you know?
No, what happened?
What happened was when they were making that music, they were being stalled, so they were trying to make more albums and they were getting the runaround or whatever, and they weren't making any money. And so what they were advised to do, they were actually being pimped out. So and they were talking about that they were being pimped out. So the record, I forgot who they were with, but they were invited to go to all these classy parties, hang out with all these bigwig people, and they were being passed around, and they said that they were waiting so long to make new records, that they wound up making money tricking, and they were making more money tricking than they were doing records. And that's what they started doing.
Yeah,
Ask yourself what
because
happened to all these
they done
people.
specialized us. Now you don't have slaves on the slave plantation when these white men want to get their rocks off and sleep with someone of color because they were sleeping with black men too. Now you just got us lined up, and we'll do anything. We'll do anything
That's
to get
so
the white
crazy.
power. Now we selling ourselves, and we teaching our children in the music to sell yourselves. Disrespect your body. Don't nobody care. Now we trying to compete on each other body. I know that I want to have a nice body, women. We want to look good, but I'm not competing with another woman. You know what I'm saying? So now they got little girls out here looking at their body at age 10 and 11. There was this video that I seen when these girls, they were saying it was a video of a block party back in the 90s, and the girls was dancing, and these were some teenagers, and guess what? They had bows in their hair. And I was like, the teenagers their age this day now got these lace fronts looking just as grown as they mama, and nobody don't see
Man,
wrong with it. Where is the gap? Where does the line between a teenager and a grown adult end? That somebody just came and erased the lines, and our teenagers now thinking that that's what you do. You don't love nobody. You just F and suck, and you got a baby, and we out here fussing and baby daddy, baby mama drama, and then they rapping about it, and it's crazy. I want to give another example. I remember my cousins, and we from the hood, we be in the club, and I remember when it was starting. I remember when I go to the club, you had your other music, but you also had times where you would slow dance. That's when you would really meet people and stuff. Slow dance and stuff. They don't have slow dancing in the club no more. I remember me and my cousin, this song came out. Throw your hood up. Put your hood up. This, get crunk, get all this stuff. And I remember you got alcohol in your system. You got a whole bunch of black people in the dark. You hyping up. You might be mad at this. And I remember that they'll be throwing it up. And then next you know, you got a crowd fighting. It's the energy. And then I remember our cousins sitting around like, cuz I don't even want to go. I don't like when they play that song. Something happened. Feel like I'll be ready to fight. And I remember we was saying it back then. And now look at the era. It went from fighting to shooting. But we distinctly used to sit around the hood like, man, when that song come on, I'd be ready to tear something up, not knowing what we saying. But they knew what they were doing.
Just like that movie, Clone and Tyrone. Remember on that part when they were in the club and they changed the music. Remember?
Yes.
It sounds like it's just funny and it's just a movie, but it's not. That stuff is real,
And
that's what's so sad because we. Go ahead.
No,
that's so sad that they show that stuff and it's entertaining to us, but we miss the message.
Yes.
And we discredit the fact that stuff is real.
Because we're not looking for messages. We're not looking for solutions, because a lot of our people, if you're looking for solutions, you'll look for the messages. But we're not looking for solutions. We're looking to be entertained.
Entertain.
Because the wounds hurt too much. All the whips on our back from white supremacy hurt too much. All the growling pains in our hungry stomachs hurt too much. So when we lift up and we telling each other with this little bit of piece of chicken that they gave us in our mouth that we sold ourselves out for, and when we come to another black person and say, get that chicken out your mouth, you don't need that. You don't need that white supremacy. We tell each other, get out my face. Leave me alone. I deserve to be happy a little bit. That's basically what I'm saying. I just like watching it. I make sure I turn. It boils my blood. I don't barely watch Tubi. Now they have some new shows on there, but I turn from a lot of stuff. I used to like rap, and I do like some rap, but that is for me to listen personally, like it used to be, like I was taught when I was young back then. What grown people listen to is what grown people listen to, because grown people got the mind to know this ain't real and I shouldn't act that way. But when you feed it to teenagers and children and babies, they think that is normal and it's okay. And you got people quick to shoot and kill, and then they regret it later. And we don't see the regret because ain't nobody sitting in prison tomorrow, don't do this, because they never going to highlight that. They're
not.
Fighting and shooting and killing each other. And what they call shooting in prison is stabbing. They call a gun in prison a knife.
And what happens when you see all these stories, all these crime stories, all these crime shows, Scare Straight, all that stuff? Where are the stories where people are going like us, doing the work in the community? Where are the stories where people are going into the prisons trying to help our men and our women in there? You don't ever see those stories.
The only prison, like my son is in prison right now, and he tells me everything. They don't send them. What they do is most of the people that come in there is the white church people, and the only time black people come in there is to preach to them. That's it. The prisons, they don't care. Right now, my brother work at the Divergent Center. The Divergent Center is where they hold little children. They don't care. My brother said bugs and everything in there. It's worse than the prison. My brother been to prison. They got the kids sitting there. They preparing them to be okay. Most of the people down here in the county jail, they rather go to prison than sit in the regular jail because they say it's better. Look at our mind.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So it's just being normalized, and that's what he's saying.
Then we turn around and see that our black men, half the black men wouldn't be in prison if they wasn't out here trying to get money to feed their family. But we don't see it like that. But see, when white people do it, it's called, I'm a police officer, I'm a pharmacist, I'm a doctor, and they commit more crimes. And then when you look in the prisons, you don't hardly see, my son seen one Asian person. They never go to prison. They get mostly slaps on the wrist and probation. You barely see white people in prison. Don't let them fool you. They not locked up. You might see a few of them. But mass incarceration, they belong in there. Most black people in there, if you kill somebody, you belong in there. But a lot of black people are in prison for
not be okay with that. A lot of people are sitting in jail though A lot of black people are sitting in jail, and poor people are sitting in jail
Yeah,
because they don't have bail money. You know, you sit behind bars for months and years because you don't have money for a lawyer or bail. You know, for petty crimes, things that you should only be there for the weekend for, and the weekend
exactly.
turns into months because of, that's craziness.
But it's all there. They idolize this in our rap music. Not trying to be funny. We gotta see it. Female rappers today do not have nothing to say but telling us to exploit our bodies. They are female strippers with a microphone. The male rappers are using their microphones to commit genocide and they don't know it. That's all rap is today. Rap is not helping us no more. It's not telling our stories no more. Just like when we used to use, like now, when we use these social media apps to tell our stories, now we are banned. Any avenue we use to tell our stories to connect, they corrupt it. And it's up to us to recognize it. But if you're not looking for a way out, you're not going to recognize it. If you're not looking around your communities and seeing that, hey, prayer ain't helping. I don't care what people tell you. You don't come pray for me. Pray for your damn self, because prayer ain't help your child from being shot. There's so many people that go to church. There was a pastor I read saying, you all in the hood saying this and that. If God sent you to be my pastor, then why you got hit by a stray bullet and killed? Something ain't right
Because
here.
God has a plan. God has a plan.
God has a plan. So now
Let me tell you something. They said you pray like you depend on God, and you work like you depend on you. Okay.
and I like what Robert said. We love junk food, self-destruction, rather than a good, wholesome, organic meal, conscious rap, and good R&B. Whoever is feeding you will control your destiny. We are what we eat. And yes, that even the food.
Amen to
Food
that.
got us so messed up that we don't know. We don't even know what fresh food is. They make it so hard to get fresh fruits and vegetables, but you will go out your way and it's easy to get junk food and stuff like that. Do y'all not understand what's going on? It's time for the black community to reevaluate the black community. And it's time for black people to boycott rap. Y'all want to go up here and talk about hands up, don't shoot, boycott, and this and that. The only way to boycott, the major thing that got us, is to boycott this ratchet ass, raggedy ass, self-destruction ass, stripper ass rap. Uh-oh, we got Pablo coming in because I was about to end it, but let's see if the Pablo
Man.
got something to say.
And really quick, before Paulo says something really quickly, and it's not just rap, it is hip hop, because if you think about Sierra, a few months ago, she was telling with young girls, young women, they don't need no man. You have a whole husband at home. How dare you? How dare you?
She pimping, baby. She gotta do the small hats work and master work for them, babies. That's yeah, that's one thing. One thing y'all best learn for you tune off of this broadcast. These black celebrity Negroes will do anything, and I mean anything, for massa. Anything to keep that position, anything to stay masses good graces. They will do. So don't put nothing past them. And also, like Malcolm X said, that's why you don't see entertainers, athletes, and all these people curled it up as leaders of only for us.
Exactly.
Yeah. And if any of you, while you're listening, if you are a conscious artist, if you know of conscious artists, especially ones that cannot get their music out, we want you to reach out to us, because that's what we're here to promote. And really
Yes,
quick shout out to my cousin Isaiah Darty. He's here in Indianapolis, Indiana. He actually has he's a producer. He's worked so hard. He works with conscious artists. He has an event.
Dang, you went out, Queen. If he worked, you got to bring him to the show. Bring him on. Let's hear something. Let's shout out the people that's doing stuff. Because right here, we are B for B. Black people for black people. I know we say B1, but I don't even use B1 no more because the black people that use B1 done corrupted the shit out of that. But
these are the facts.
I see Robert Epps saying we need land, we need our own country. Well, we got land, and that's why you've seen us play the commercial, because that's what we've been doing, is buying land so that we can build our own micro country. But we got to start step by step, like getting the land. The land ain't developed. Now we need all our black people that's listening, that we've been trying to get them to put in and let's help develop it. But so many black people done corrupted and robbed each other that we don't trust each other no more. But we've been doing this on our own. Right now, we got a few acres that we starting off with. and we supposed to be having more coming. And that's the whole point. We're not trying to change you, or what you doing. Your tribe, because what the United Empires of Akibelon is a coalition, a group of Black organizations, tribes, and people coming together because we got one thing in common, is that we know that the enemy is against us and we have to build. I land my plane.
And I'll say this too, I pay for Hulu, I pay for Amazon Prime, I pay for Netflix. Netflix just went up to $30 on me. $30. I'm about to cancel that. I pay for Michiette's network, which is the all Black network, $12.99. Can you pay $10 a month to the United Empire of Akibelon? Can you invest $10 a month to help us, to help you obtain land for all of us, regardless of your views, whatever? As long as you are B for B, you are Black for Black, we want to unite with you, but it does take resources, and we are pouring our resources into what we have.
And if you're white,
all of us here,
we take your money too. This land ain't for you, but
we take everybody's money.
We'll take it. Yeah. Walk that boulevard. I'll put it like this. I'll use a low vibrational stereotype about putting in on because the gentleman in the comments said we in our own country. That's exactly what it is we're trying to do here. But it starts with one pebble, one grain of land at a time, and that's what we're doing. So I'll put it in low vibrational wording. Just for as little as the money that you spend on that fried chicken combo every week, you could put that same money. And I mean, not every day, but just if you go to fried chicken or the fried fish you get on Friday, just for that little bit of amount a month, you can support the process. Because if I were to ask you, do you want to give yourself cancer? Do you want to poison your body? You would say no, but you don't want to buy those Asian folks, fried chicken from Louisiana. So why not take that same money that you would have given them to destroy yourself and put their kids through college? Why not take that same money that you spent on that 2-piece with the biscuit and Hawaiian punch, babies? Why don't you take that same money you would have spent on that combo and put it into supporting the cause to get Black land and to get our own? Why not, babies? It's a simple process.
Yeah. And with Robert, whoever said that, we do need our own country, but don't forget that this is our land. It's not was. This has always been our land. So unfortunately, we have to buy it back because it was stolen from us. So don't ever forget that what we're doing, buying this land that we're buying, it's our land. We're just buying it back. So that's how you all should think. We want our land back. We want our rights back, period. And so please support.
If we did as much as the rappers did and everybody came together and stopped paying all their light bills and stopped keeping all these fat, racist, whatever they are, happy and walked away and stopped buying at their stores and just buy the essentials, food and clothes, we'll be okay. If we grew our stuff together and went on one land and just walked away, they wouldn't have nothing. They would have to give us back our country. But long as you got Black people swearing that the Israelites and the Hebrewites and everything else lights and Christians and everybody is mad with each other because you're not on the same team, then we're not going to get nowhere. We don't have to be on the same team to have the same interests.
And food for thought before we get up out of here, babies. Let a natural disaster hit. Let's say right now, let's say a 10.0 hits California.
It done did it.
Let's say there's something important on the next election that affects a group of people. You're not gonna hear Latinos squabble about who's indigenous, who's from Mexico, who's from Honduras, who's from Guadalajara. You're not gonna hear none of those conversations. You're gonna see all those people who speak that same language galvanized under that umbrella for their own agenda. You're gonna see them stick together. With us, we fighting each other over the color of your socks.
Yeah, we got to stop hating each other and admit that we hate each other. We got to stop being jealous of each other, and we got to stop adorning ourselves with white trinkets and clothes and labels to make ourselves feel important. Because when you die naked. When they get ready to prepare your body, you naked. That no clothes and these labels don't mean shit. You can't eat it. You can't use it to get your people out of jail. You can't use it to stop racism. So stop putting value into white names and labels.
Now you ain't never. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy, babies. But I don't think I've ever seen a Negro get pulled over by the race soldiers. They walk up to the window, license registration. I'm sorry, officer. You can't pull me over. I got a police t-shirt. So you might as well go on back to your small cars, baby. You ain't
Like
never seen
I got Gucci socks. Do you see this Gucci belt cost me $3,000? And your ass still don't be having the money to bail out of jail. You just running around. And then when you don't have it, this would get me. Y'all will kill another black person to take off his white supremacist trinkets to put it on yourself. So like these are fucking invisible capes or something. Like when you put on this white labels, it's gonna make you invisible.
and, and, and,
Like I'm
and,
gonna put
and the
this
land
on
of
so they
plane.
can't see my blackness. I got on the Gucci belt. You gonna go kill another black person for his sneakers, shoes, or rob him for his stash so that you can buy stuff or go somewhere and pop bottles and drink liquor. Like all this shit make you invisible and your blackness just go away.
Now, and I'll land my plane on this one. I'll land on this now to tie it into what we started talking off about, which was our music that has been co-opted and taken from us. I'll just say the name Ice Spice, the one who was dressed like Betty Boop, and did basically the hooker with the microphone and the red dress. When we started talking off about, here's the thing, youngins. Here's the thing, kids. You can make it in the music industry, our music industry. We build our own music industry. That's why you need to look up things like the Negro Leagues. We are people building our own industry. But here's the reality. There are a million Ice Spices. There are a million females or strippers with microphones that have OnlyFans and all these things conducting musical prostitution. There is a
You kind
million
of
of them.
sound like the
You in
Matrix.
the Matrix.
You sounding?
Are they mad at me? Am I better now?
They are.
Say something.
Better?
Yeah.
Yes.
So to drive this message home to you, there are a million females who rap, who strip and seduce you and do all the stuff that Ice Spice was doing. And what's the difference? The difference is Ice Spice was the one in a million that the small white folks saw that, you know what, she's going to do anything with her, put this money in her hand, she's willing to destroy her people. And get it. I want you to leave this. You don't have to do that. There are outlets like ours, and there's many other outlets who are conducting a renaissance. And we want talent. We want to hear people bringing this thing back to the way it's supposed to be. We want hip hop to be the voice of the people like it used to be. You don't have to prostitute yourself. There's options. When you see Ice Spice, and you know, I mean, the average black female, I think when they see Ice Spice prostituting herself on stage, they know it's not right. And it was said, look at the size of the crowd. Blah, blah, blah. That crowd is bald and paid for, just like their listens on Spotify and their views on YouTube. Half of those people were there because of the program, because they got to be seen around this.
You're breaking up, Pablo.
Yeah, we got the point. You're kind of breaking up. But I know he's saying if you listen to Ice Spice and all these people, and it's not just Ice Spice and sexual, it's all these women that's out here making it okay to degrade yourself. And most of the people at these crowds, they screaming and crying like Christian Rock with Blueface. She walking around with her tooth knocked out because she was fighting people. And you know what I'm saying? This is and half these people representing black people who ain't even damn black. They not black. They blackish. But you don't see these real black women that look like me and you. Like, you know, come on. You well, I guess Sexy Red and all of them is, and Suki Hana. But either which way, we got to stop letting them represent us. Or they need to even tell their record labels, I want to be exclusive. You go to a concert, it's supposed to be for children. I mean, for adults only. I don't need no little young girl. I don't see how a 30-year-old listen to them. How these little young girls got these grown women attention, and and they okay with it. She's so comfortable, and these people are so comfortable with disrespecting us that they don't mind. I don't know whose microphone that is. Oh, I think it was Angie. I'm sorry. That they don't mind that she come out with a lipstick brand called, was it gonorrhea and doodle brown and stuff. I mute y'all microphones if y'all want to say something. But they so comfortable with us disrespecting ourselves. What kind of mess is that? How is she comfortable enough? Like gonorrhea, doodle, come on. How far she is the next level of how far we can disrespect the black woman.
And she's marketed as the black version of Madonna.
Oh hell no.
I'd like to see who would go to the store and buy that. Like, I would be really embarrassed to buy
We're
that.
the white women that
Like,
do this. Because even when the white women that rap, they don't they more dignified. We're the white rappers. We're the white women that degrade themselves like this. Where are the white women when Britney Spears does something, the courts went in and said something is mentally wrong with her. And they took her money and stuff from her because they didn't think she was mentally stable. But it's okay for black women that's not mentally unstable to run around with your pants half buttoned, pregnant, running around rapping all kind. And then they tell you, if you want to get scientific, we supposed to read to our kids. Your kids can hear everything when you're pregnant. And these children are these women that's pregnant like her on stage rapping. What are you feeding your children in your belly?
That's a whole nother
That's a
ball
whole
part
nother
that,
conversation
that we haven't even tapped on right there.
That's what I'm saying. We wonder why these kids coming out. These kids even if you could read to my mama said she used to read to me when she was pregnant with me. She went to school. I'm pretty intellectual. I did it with my daughter. But white people live by that. Read to your children. Your children can hear you when you're pregnant. Now we got a whole bunch of black women pregnant, sitting around a whole bunch of rap. What is our unborn children listening to? Like I said, that's a whole nother subject. But we need to start putting our thinking caps on. We need to go back to 1970 schools and put your thinking caps on, black people, because something is not right. You cannot keep blaming each other and telling black men to stop shooting and then turn around and at the same funeral after the repast, y'all up here playing the same rap music that got them killed.
getting high and drunk,
I
acting
don't care if
ignorant.
you get high and drunk. It's the whole point of you getting high and drunk with the music, the things. If you how you gonna say up here and say free JJ, oh rest in peace, wearing t-shirts and then go back and listen. F that nigga, shoot that beat. It's the same thing. The reason why he's dead.
Mm-hmm. Got to think better. We got to do better. And I'm just curious. Why are we so afraid to do the right thing? Why are we so afraid
Because
to
the master
unite?
used to beat us. You get starved. If you don't do the right thing, some people like, I'ma just do it. You starve to death. Most of the time when people getting out the hood is either rap or football or basketball.
It is.
Doing the right thing. Actually, let's touch on that real quick. Why won't we do the right thing? Outside of the programming is also enforced. There's an enforcement, just like it was in slavery. You were like that description that you gave, the defecation. That was one of the cruelest punishments for the slave who dared to stand up and say, "Master, no." That's what goes on. You see it. Why did Nick Cannon apologize and humble himself so quick? As soon as the small hats crapped that whip, that Negro got right down on his knees and shut it up.
And
Because
then he had enough money. It's
yep,
like,
and that's right there to break.
but he have a white lifestyle and he have to keep up. Most of our people getting rich and they don't understand they got enough money, but they live in white. So when they live white, you got to keep drawing money out the black community. And he had to humble himself. Didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, to publicly buck break Nick Cannon and to publicly buck break Kanye West is the modern equivalent of the defecation down the throat punishment. That's what they do to you. And a lot of us, unfortunately, have decided that whiteness, white proximity, their money, their trinkets, their awards, the accolades, we've decided that that's worth the price of admission because we'll do anything not to be black and to be back into the struggle once we've gotten into that white lifestyle.
And when we strip ourselves of our blackness, they okay because they want to rob us of our culture, our hairstyles, the way we talk, the way we move, the way we dance. They okay with that. We got to understand that we are being used as pieces for their fueling. If they want to dance, come to the white black neighborhood, but yet the white people get the compliment. Like that white woman they call TikTok mama. I ain't never seen so many black people praising a white woman because she dancing like you. We do it because we know that that is not normal for them to dance and look like us. So we have learned to cheer it on and praise them because they're trying to be us. And yet we don't even but we don't praise each other because we know majority of us got that same ability. The majority of them don't. So they get praised and paid for pretending to be us, and we don't see it. I be getting on there like, why y'all praising this white woman because she trying to dance and do lyrics and stuff, and she lip sing all these rap lyrics that she'll never live.
And in other non-black cultures that identify as white cultures, let's use the Japanese culture for example, which y'all know about in Japan. And this is a whole underground, not so underground, but it's a whole industry based off of West Coast culture. Right now in Japan, they have this thing where they get the lowriders, they dress like Eazy and all this stuff. In Japan, you even have like some of the Japanese girls go tan themselves to oblivion till they get dark skin, and they go get the old Janet Jackson from Poetic Justice braids. It's like a whole like industry around this stuff in Japan. But yet when it comes to corporate America, we are seen as Negro entertainment, slave entertainment. But the same people are making money off this. They're making money off of it on both ends. And we're the only ones left out
Yes.
with nothing.
Man,
Just-
I went to a Asian. I went to one of those Korean plot spots where you do your own meat at the table. All they showed on the big screens all the whole time was a bunch of Asian rappers, young Asian rappers. You can't understand what they're saying, but they were all rappers. I'm like, where these go? And they're young people. I was like, oh my gosh, it threw me off. It was very kind of
Uncomfortable.
disturbing. It
Yeah.
You
was.
you wouldn't
But
even
they
think
have their
you
own
wouldn't even think
spaces.
breakdancing was like this is part of Japanese culture also. Or actually, it's spread from Japan into some Asian cultures at this point.
You there, Pablo?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Korea, Japan, Philippines, they basically taken over breakdancing. If you were young, you would never think black people made up breakdancing.
You're in the matrix, but if you all didn't hear him, he was saying how the Asians are taking over breakdancing. Um,
Yeah, that's what
so true.
everybody is doing. They're mimicking us, and then they go to their little safe spaces. And once they finish mimicking us, and we cheer them on, they get to look at themselves rapping and dancing and get rid of us. And we're still in the hoods, and we're still in the ghettos, and they still got their communities. They made money off of their communities. They come in our communities and get money from the hair stores, money from the nail stores, and our stupid behind black women still supporting them. Stupid asses. Excuse me.
Eh,
I don't go. I mean, sometimes I like the food. It would be okay. I like Chinese food. I like different cultures. But the sad part is we can't enjoy each other cultures without being suffered. Where's the black culture? Where's the black food? Where's the black soul food restaurant? You don't get it. They take all our little pieces. Ruth Chris selling collard greens for $100 a little cup and stuff like that. They stripped us of everything, and then we mad with each other, and we won't get a grip. We won't stop giving them our essence. We won't turn off. When I see somebody white or Chinese or Asian acting black, I click off. I don't look at it. I'm not cheering. I get on there and say, okay, this and that. But when I put on my sheet for Halloween and said I'm white privilege, I'm called racist.
We gotta stop that too. I'm not gonna keep having these conversations about racism among black people. I'm not. Now
Yeah.
y'all can take that craziness on somewhere. Yeah, it's just an excuse for why you're just being unjust and hateful, and you are deflecting from your own unjust, inhumane crimes.
And
Okay, that's what y'all are doing.
then you had so many black people dressed as Indians. I said, y'all fools, y'all dressing up like yourselves. But even at the end, that wasn't yourselves, y'all still dressing up like another person. That y'all done got so comfortable with whiteness that you don't see you mocking another culture. You don't know what them stripes mean, what the feathers mean. You won't research, but you're so comfortable being like white people.
Even when it comes to being thugs and gangsters, I'm here to tell
Yeah.
y'all right now, black men, even black women, y'all are not thugs. Y'all are not gangsters. I'm the only thugs, the real thugs and gangsters that have ever been in the United States are in your government. Okay, those are your thugs and gangsters. They will kill you. They will rob from you. Okay, they put hits out on you. Your drug dealers, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
that's you trying to be like that.
Kathy said, "Be careful. They bring cats and dogs in the back door." Girl, I don't stop eating this chicken on the stick a long time ago. I usually go for the seafood, but yeah, we got to have a place. This is why we building the Keebler, because it's going to be black. It's going to be when we sit around, we're going to watch black people. We're going to listen to the black music that we want to listen to that is not causing us to destroy each other. We're going to have black activities where and black people enjoy. We're going to have places where your designer labels are not welcomed. Keep your Gucci, your Louis Vuitton, your Prada, your white woman Chanel, and all that shit down in the America place. Because in our spaces, it's going to be black spaces that make black people comfortable. Because you're not going to come in our space wearing your white designer labels while half the black people are poor. Take that shit somewhere else. And I land my plane. We need to wrap this up. We're going to wrap this up, and we can, this is something we can always talk about. Until we see a change, we're going to keep having these uncomfortable conversations that make our enemy uncomfortable. Do y'all have anything else to say, Pablo and Angie, before we wrap this up?
No, you did well. You did well. It's a great conversation. Again, we are not here to entertain you all. We hope that you are taking this to heart. And please like and share. More importantly, share. We would like you to like, because we do need the algorithm to respond appropriately. If you have time to share, like ratchet stuff, then you have time to share this.
Yeah.
And we do appreciate it. But at the same time, it's kind of expected. We shouldn't have to tell you to do the right thing for your own well-being. And we are definitely here for all of us, and like Queen Tina said, it sucks because there's been so much scamming going on. I'm tired of being scammed, and we can say that we're not, and the only thing you can do is trust us and give us a chance. But taking a chance on us is taking a chance on you. And we want to see all of us win. We shouldn't have to have these conversations over and over again, and they go through one ear and out the other. We want this to resonate. We want this to stick. Like Dave Chappelle said, he could say nigga all day long, but when he said something about other groups of people, then that was corrected. We're not going to continue to be corrected and treated like we're ignorant, and we have to be bound by somebody else's rules that don't make any sense and they don't apply to us.
And I want to say this: if y'all gonna be out here rapping, talking about kill a nigga, I need you to say kill a cracker too. If I can listen and jam to shoot that nigga, I need to listen and jam to shoot that cracker. Let's make it fair. And all of y'all that's out here that's listening, when you hear this, I need you to take a stand and start turning them TVs and turning them channels. It's hard, but they say that it takes 30 days to start breaking a habit. Let's start breaking these habits of filling our bellies with this stuff that is destroying us. And with that, I land my plane. Thank y'all for listening. Tune back in. We should be back in later on tonight. Peace.
Have you envisioned true Black individuals and groups coming together? We are in need of safe spaces that serve as sanctuaries for the Black community in this current world. We as a people are falling apart, and this a call to action. Imagine a place where healing, unity, culture, and wealth building are the core values. A haven that fosters a sense of peace and belonging for generations to come. We need a micronation, a self-declared independent entity that exists digital within or on the outskirts of an existing nation. A micronation is a small, self-governed place where a community can create its own rules and regulations independent of larger governing bodies. This is the vision of the UEOA. This concept is not new, but it's one that holds significant potential for the Black community. Imagine a place that serves as a retreat for the Black community. A sanctuary that provides respite from the pressures of the oppression we face in our everyday life. A place where we can reconnect with our roots, learn, and find solace in a supportive environment. A place where we can host conferences, workshops, and events that promote education, programs that promote healing, unity, and wealth building. A thriving hub for Black families, entrepreneurs, and individuals offering opportunities for networking and collaboration among each other. Imagine a serene natural environment where families and individuals can enjoy camping, farming, and other activities, fostering a connection with nature and promoting overall well-being. a dedicated space for educational programs, mentorship initiatives, and workshops that empower Black people to reach their full potential and contribute to their communities. A sustainable farming initiative that promotes self-sufficiency, healthy eating, and environmental consciousness, while also providing educational opportunities for community members. A range of activities and amenities, ensuring a memorable experience for all. This vision is attainable and with your help, can become a reality. By contributing to this initiative, you will play a vital role in creating a safe and empowering micro-community that addresses the unique needs of the Black community. We bought land, now we need your support to help secure the necessary resources to develop infrastructure. So what can you do to help make this vision a reality? Donate, no matter how big or small. Every contribution will make a significant impact. Even donating your time, skills, or expertise can assist us in. Please join our website www.theunitedempiresofalkebulan.com. Share this initiative, spread the word through social media, email, and word of mouth. Together we can build this dream that fosters pride, resilience, and prosperity. Join us in creating a space where Black individuals and families can thrive, celebrate our heritage, and build a brighter future. It's up to us to help us. We are the only group of people suffering like we do systemically. If you claim you love Black people, then you approve this message.